Hello, I am the messenger on the mission, sharing the messages for today. Okay, so the title to my message today I'm sharing is coming. It is the title, the name of the title is What Do You Believe in? What do you believe in? And I will be reading from my computer here because I got this one from my computer. This is one of my messages here that I wanted to share today. What do you believe in? Do you believe that God loves you? Do you believe that Jesus died for your sin and rose the third day? Do you believe that you can be delivered from your misery and the emptiness in you? Do you believe that? If so, that you believe, then why didn't you answer when God called out your name? And you like, well, God didn't call me because there's many people have names just like mine. Okay, I believe that. I hear you with that. Yes, there's a whole lot of people out there with your name, but I'm pretty sure that you did hear God when He called you, when He spoke to you, because there are so many people out there. You hear that voice tell you to do something, and you didn't want to do it because you have to make that sacrifice to let go of some things that you didn't want to let go, or you're not ready to let go. You heard Him when He called out your name, but you just ignored Him. You just didn't want to do what He ask you to do because you're not ready to let go of those things. You're not ready to let go of that beautiful woman that you just met when God said, no, I just want to talk to you about this, this woman you met. You're not ready to let go of this handsome man that you met when God, I want to talk to you about this handsome man that you met. You're not ready to let go of this drugs when you want, when God said you have to let go of some friends in your life because they're not good for you. You're not ready for that. So yes, you heard Him, but you just didn't want to answer to Him. But trust me, He called your name, but you just didn't answer. So why ignore the signs that He brought to your attention if you ignore Him when He called you, and He would get your attention another way now? You don't want that. As Jonah that was stuck in the well for 3 days. Because when God asked him to do something, he didn't do what God asked him to do. He ignored what God asked him to do. And he ended up in the well for 3 days, y'all. 3 days. So if God can't get your attention one way, He gonna get it another way, okay? But I would rather for Him to get my attention the first time He called me out, okay? So, but when God has told you not to do something and you did it anyway, why did you do it? Even when you felt it was wrong to do it, but you still did it, why did you do it? See, when He appeared before you in your presence, why did you turn away? You said, I didn't turn away from God because I didn't see Him. Ooh, you didn't see God. You didn't see God. You said, okay, I didn't see God, okay? Wow, let's try. Let's figure this out. Okay, so now you're saying, you said, I didn't turn away because I didn't see Him. That's messed up. That's messed up. You didn't see Him. You didn't see His presence. Okay, so when you can't recognize the glory of God, that's messed up. When you can't recognize the glory of God standing before you, but nevertheless, you can spot sin anywhere before you. And sin doesn't have to even be in front of you, but you still can see sin. But you didn't turn sin away. You didn't turn away from sin. Okay? Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So sin doesn't have to be in front of you in order for you to see it. You can see sin, but you don't recognize it. How's that? So let me use an example. Like when you go to the mall or store, you're walking around, you see people, right? And majority of the people, you don't recognize them. But in other words, you don't know them and they don't look familiar, but you see them. You see them. And then some of them, for some reason, caught your attention. It could have something to do with the way they dress, the way they wear their hair, or you could have heard them talking to someone. You said their voice sound familiar. You see them. Something about that person caught your attention. You looked at them and you saw them. But the point is, you can see them. Okay, and you can tell that when someone is walking beside you or behind you because you can sense it. That someone is nearby. You're like, look, you're a little too close. Like, anyway, a person can walk up to you and speak to you like they know you for years, but you don't even know them. I know there's a lot of people experience that all the time. I experience that sometimes. And you don't even know them. You're not familiar with them. You never seen them before, but they know your name. They tell you the time you and that person had together, and you trying to think back, and you feel bad because you don't know that person. That person know you, and you trying real hard in your mind trying to remember this person because this person remember you. You know, and your feelings are saying, I know him or her for somewhere, but I can't figure out where. You know, sin has known you for years, right? But it's strange that you're not familiar with that particular sin. Nevertheless, you still act like you know it and you introduce yourself to sin. So that's what you do with that person that you're not familiar with. You pretend that you know that person. You'll talk with them and stuff because you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want, you know, feel ashamed. So you just talk to them and pretend that you know them, and then you introduce yourself to them because they're gonna ask you your name, and then if they black, like I black people, I had to say it, especially in the South. Who's your daddy? And who's your mama? You know, who's your sister and brother? Who's your granddad? They go down the line, you know. Yeah, they'll know you then, you know, the whole family. But anyway, yes, you will be familiar with sin. So you know how it is when you feel bad and awkward and you don't know that person, but the person know you and you wonder who that person is. You're gonna give that person all kind of information about yourself because you don't want to feel bad. So you're gonna tell that person about yourself. You're gonna introduce yourself to that person. So you decide to get to know the unfamiliar person who spoke to you. Well, no different with sin. You want to know more about it. So you exchange your flesh for it to get to know more about you. And there's nothing wrong with getting familiar with a person, but it's seriously something wrong getting familiar with sin. Mm-hmm. But do you love God and Jesus? Do you love God's Son? Do you love God? He said, if you love me, then you will obey my commandment. In John 14, the 21st and the 23rd verse says that. What is his commandments? This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. John 15 and the 12th verse says that. If you follow these commandments, everything else will fall in place for you as doing the will of God. Do you love God and Jesus enough to make a sacrifice? Abraham did with his son Isaac. Abraham was willing to make a sacrifice. He didn't have to because God had a ram in the bush for him. Abraham made a sacrifice to leave his family, you know. And there's a lot of other people made sacrifices for God, you know. But as well, Jesus made a sacrifice to die on the cross and excruciating the pain to show how much he loved you. He loved us. God made a sacrifice to give his only begotten son, and he spared your life, my life, everyone's life, and many times from death. Look back over your life and see how many times that your life was spared from death, because otherwise you wouldn't be here today. You're still living. You're still breathing. If not, you won't be watching my video. Anyway, Satan lied to you when he told you that it won't harm you to do drugs and drink strong alcohol, to be drunk all the time, and lustful spirits, and it will take your problems away. What I mean by lustful spirit, eat your life away. Some people, lustful spirits can be, it doesn't have to be sex all the time. Lustful spirits can be when you just eat your life away and then you just gain weight. And next thing you know, you weigh about 600 or 700 pounds and you can't get nowhere. And then lustful spirits can be even starving yourself because you refuse to eat because, you know, the enemy lied to you. Lustful spirits, and when you're sleeping around with different people because you're miserable, you know. And so, yes, they say it will take your problems away. But tell me, after you do all that and you sober and you come to your senses and stuff, where your problems go? Nowhere. And you're like, man, I'm upset, man. I still got no money to pay. I don't still have no money to pay my bills. And then you get sober and you wake up and you come to your senses like, man, my crazy husband is still here. You know. But anyway, you have the issue, the problem is still there because you ain't solved it. If you don't solve the problem, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. You can drink your life away, drug your life away, have sex your life away, don't care what you do. Eat your life away, anywhere to go. If you didn't solve it, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. You are not satisfied with, be honest with yourself. Are you really happy with yourself? Are you satisfied with your life? You know, Now I have to ask this question. What did God do to you that you can't open yourself up to him? He's calling you, but you're not answering him. He's trying to get your attention, but you're turning away from him. Do you believe that you can be debt free? Do you believe that your rebellious child changed for the better? Do you believe that you can be healed? Do you believe that Jesus can shine in your life on the darkness time of your life, a brighter day you should have? What do you believe in? Do you believe that that you can get that house that you've been praying for? Do you believe that you can get that job you've been praying for? Do you believe? What do you believe in? If you serve Satan, whatever you believe in will be negative. If you serve God, whatever you believe in will be positive. What do you believe in? In all things, you serve God, and if your life is positive, and your mind, you believe in yourself, and then believe that you can do all things to Christ who strengthens you. That's a good mind stage right there. Your life will be awesome. You hear me? So all this based on faith. Your faith. Where are you taking your faith? How far are you taking your faith? How strong is your faith? How strong is your faith in God? You can't do nothing without Christ in your life. You can't do nothing without God. Do you believe in God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Do you believe in God Almighty? Do you believe in yourself? Because God believes in you. Do you believe in better from worse? What do you believe in? What do you believe in? So that's the end of my message. I am the messenger on the mission, sharing the message. God bless you.